Look, I mean, the reality of the marketplace is, regardless if it's hot, cold, going backwards or trending upwards, there is always vendors out there in the marketplace who don't want to go down the traditional route of selling through a marketing campaign on realestateanddomain.com. Because every single vendor in the market is motivated by something different. And you know, generally the only reason someone wants to go to market is to maximize their dollar and get the highest possible price. We're not looking for those vendors. Because if you were, you know, go and stand at an auction with 10 other buyers and do that for the next 6 months, and that's what most buyers do. You know, we're looking for vendors that have different motivations. Generally, they're to do with discretion, with speed. There's a lot of vendors out there at the moment that aren't selling until they buy. So for example, a vendor will go to an auction, they'll be successful, they'll have a standard 6-week settlement and then go, shit, now I've got to sell. And they can't go through a normal campaign to sell because they don't have the time. So then they have to sell off market and sell very quickly. And then, you know, we're the only buyer's agent in the country that has the proprietary software that we've built called the Henderson Advantage, and that's obviously in partnership with JLL, the international valuation firm, to identify all the properties in the areas that tick your boxes, and then use our methodology to be able to work out the likelihood of that vendor being a seller or not. Market inspections and all the other stuff you have to do to be able to, you know, get the edge on other buyers in the market.
Yeah, you just summed up what I thought about it.
Yeah. Well, mate, there's nothing wrong with not being friends with real estate agents, let me tell you. It's just it's a necessary evil in what we do.
So a key term that's thrown around in the property game is, and when it comes to investing in property, is, you know, always try and purchase the worst house in the best street. So why is that? Why do people say that? And it's because, you know, when it comes to investing, the growth is going to come from the land, and the land and the location is going to do 80% of the property growth in regards to the house that's built on top of that. So for instance, you know, if you purchase a home like this one, for instance, in a quiet street where we are right now versus sort of like a mansion or a bigger home on the main road, which is one street just back, you're always going to have a lot more interest in this quieter sort of street property when it comes to selling it. So you're going to essentially be able to get yourself a lot more value for that money when it comes into the long-term process of selling it again. So just remember, it's going to do 80% of the heavy lifting when it comes to making your home and your property worth more in the future.
Fantastic. And then we get that going right away.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you for doing it as well.
Damo's here listening.
No worries, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your help. I'm glad it's all worked out.
Yeah, no problem.
Fucking eyes will. No? Support local business.
No local.
Quite literally.
Yeah, very friendly. It is. We try here. Will, so I heard you're still in the closet, mate.
Yeah.
Hey, how's the peanut butter thing going?
It is a real treat. Yeah, it's subtle enough for you to not care.
Okay, good.
If you want to notice it, you can. But if you want to ignore it, you can also.
Hi, my name is Ray. I'm the new video editor at No Media. I'm studying filming at TAFE at the moment. I love the storytelling side of things. And I studied photography before. So I thought video may be the next one to go. And that's how I started studying Cert3 screen media filming at TAFE last year. And now I'm doing Cert4 screen media at TAFE, yeah.
One thing I hear a lot of is I'm just going to wait. Wait for the market to settle. And I think that's a good strategy. You know, if the market, you know, like that's one strategy. You know, you got obviously to like think about what if the market doesn't settle? What if the market continues to go up? What if the market stays the way it is, what are your strategies for those other two options, you know? So waiting is a good strategy if it's going to go down, but like no one can predict the future, so you know, what are your alternatives to that? So really, if you continue searching the way you're searching now, what's the end result? Probably the same results you're getting currently. So what has to change? Like obviously something has to change in the search, whether it's getting help from a buyer's agent or like considering another alternative to source properties. You know, you've got to change something in your search to get a different result, because you can't expect to go out there and keep missing out and then end up like with a different result in the end. So
thanks for your time, mate.
Anyway.
We'll keep in touch. It's important to remember that the real estate agent is a very busy person. So when you're on the phone to them, keep it brief, keep it straight to the point, be simple. They don't want to beat around the bush. 2, you want to be transparent. By being upfront with the real estate agent, telling them your expectations and really the maximum on what you can spend on the property, they're more likely to work for you rather than someone that's just time wasting, beating around the bush, because as much as they're trying to get the top dollar for the vendor, the top real estate agents are also wanting to move on to the next deal. They just want to roll through them. So by being quick and punctual, you're likely to be at the top of that list so they can just quickly get a deal done and move on to the next. Now you know.
I'm gonna be up with Brizzy for